Welcome back to the digital tournament expert division, hole number 3. This is a send it shot with a Zerk. It is APOC 5 plus friendly with a couple of notes, okay? We're going to be doing a thorn approach here. So we'll have to pay close attention to our drive yardage, and we're going to be doing either a pin check or a white ring check for our approach. Couple of things to note on the drive. If you're using APOC 5, you'll be pushing up 22 plus yards. If you're using APOC 6 plus, you'll push up 20 plus yards. So we recommend that you use 7 topspin, 2 right spin to give you your best rollout and your best chance to avoid getting stuck in the rough. Look at the starting position here. So at max extension with a P5 ball, the APOC 8 will be 1/3 of a ring off of the rough fairway line, or basically 2/3 of the blue ring will be in the fairway with an APOC 8. With an APOC 7, at max extension, your red ring will be touching that fairway rough line. With an APOC 5 and 6, your red ring will be 1/3 of a ring into the fairway at P5 max extension. You're going to release, adjust P3 plus 10% max numbers. And that's P3 plus 10% max for the adjustment here. After you adjust, if you're using 7 topspin, you're going to push up 20 plus yards, right? If you're using APOC 5 topspin, which is 5.8, then you're going to push up 22 plus yards to make up the difference and to make sure you don't get stuck in the rough. Here you want to keep your winds above 10 miles per hour to give you your best opportunity at a drop. If you're using APOC 5, you cannot push up 22 plus yards. You may want to switch to either a Bryson ball or a Thor ball and add 1 bar of boost. Even if you can't push up, there's still a good chance that you'll roll out of the rough. You might just barely trickle out. If you do happen to get stuck in the rough for some reason, you can still easily reach the green with a very makeable rough iron shot. Pretty much, it'll be very close to what we're playing with the Thorn. You'll just have to do it with a rough iron. So there is some risk, but no matter what, unless you really do something wrong, you should always have a shot at albatross with a guaranteed eagle on this hole. There's a couple of different rollouts that you can get on this drive, depending on wind strength, top spin used, and roll out of the rough, okay? So I'm going to go over those real quick. If you get a longer rollout, like I did on that drive, which was 439, I believe, then you're going to be doing a white ring touching the top fairway, green fringe line, okay? So the top of your white ring touching the green fringe line. That's what this shot is here that I'm about to show you. If you get the shorter rollout, which is 428 or less, then you're going to be doing a pin check. So you'll act like you're dunking the ball with your short iron. You should be in plus yards, and those plus yards will determine your slider. You use the appropriate chart I have posted here to the left, depending on which rollout you get and where you're at. If for some reason you're not in one of those checks, you can estimate based off of how far you're off, and then just plus or minus 1% per ring that you're off if you're off, or you can always count up from min, doing 1% per ring, counting up from min. The approach plays P5 plus 10% at slider. If you get the shorter rollout, usually you can play the shot with no spin, having the tip of the ball guide just to the cup, aimed at the center of the cup. Now, occasionally, your ball guide with no spin may not make it to the hole. If, for some reason, you cannot set up with your ball guide to the hole, then you can add a little bit of topspin. One thing that's really important, if you have the shorter rollout and you're playing the no spin or top spin shot, you do not want to set up any closer to the fringe than your yellow ring. So basically, shorter rollout, what I'll do is I'll bring my thorn up to either the yellow ring touching the fringe on the bottom or to where the ball guide is just touching the hole. So now if I push up and my yellow ring is touching the fringe on the top and my ball guide is short of the hole, then I'll have to add a little bit of topspin to get that ball guide to the hole. If you have to add topspin, you need to leave the ball guide short of the cup by at least a half a square. If you have to add a fair amount, say anything more than 0.2 or 0.3, then you may want to leave your ball guide about a square short, right? The more topspin you have to add, the shorter you need to leave the ball guide away from the hole. For the longer rollouts, like the one I did here, we're going to be playing a 3 backspin shot. The ball guide, the tip of the ball guide will be just into the hole, center cup, and we'll do a top of the white ring fairway or green fringe check at the top of the green. That's what I'm going to show you here. That's what I have saved. So I know this can sound a little complicated, but it's really not, right? If you get a shorter rollout, you're going to play the pin check. You may or may not have to add topspin. I haven't had to add topspin, right? I've been good with no spin in most cases, but in some cases you may have to add a little bit of topspin. If you do, just keep it a little short. If you get the longer rollout like this, you want to have 3 backspin only, and you want to have the tip of the ball guide just going into the center of the cup like that. And you want to make sure that you're pulling this as straight as possible, all right? If you pull crooked, you will miss the shot. Let me go back and stop on the fringe check so you can get a good look at that. I didn't stop there. But we'll be doing top of the white ring, touching the green fringe line at the top, right like that. So there, it's not showing plus yards because it's a replay glitch, but right there I'm at the +4 with the top of my white ring touching the fringe green line. That's going to give me my slider based on the chart, which would be 29 slider, right? So that's what's important here. You're going to do one of the 2 checks, either the top of your white ring like I'm showing you there, or a standard pin check where it looks like you're going to dunk the shot, and that will give you the pin check that I have listed on top. If you're not, make sure you don't set up on the fringe. Make sure you set up with at least no closer to the fringe at the bottom than your yellow ring, or you play the backspin shot, right, at the with the longer rollouts. So the shorter rollouts you'll set up before the green, before the fringe, at least 1 ring before the fringe at the bottom, below the green. The longer rollouts, you play the backspin shot, you do the white ring check, and you put the ball guide just into the cup. If you have to add topspin, make sure you leave it short. This is going to give you a very good opportunity at an albatross. I wish you the best of luck. Make sure you're pulling it straight. If you pull crooked, you might miss this. Good luck, and we'll catch you on the next hole.